My mother told the doctors that I was mentally incompetent. She's got the mind of like a child. She told me if I was to contact anybody and tell them that she would take a hammer to my fingers.
This is the house where Dee Dee Blanchard was found stabbed to death. It set off a roller coaster story.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her boyfriend, Nicholas Godijon, are both charged with premeditated murder.
2103 West Volunteer Way, Springfield, Missouri.
There were comparisons to cartoon characters, saying that she was forcefully talking like a baby.
I heard her scream once, and there was more screaming.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a case that is unlike any other case that I have seen. It's extremely sad, disturbing, and it's left a lot of people confused. This is about a girl named Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Dee Dee Blanchard, Gypsy's mother, said that her daughter had some chromosomal defects from birth. Dee Dee claimed that Gypsy had chronic illnesses such as muscular dystrophy, epilepsy, severe allergies, and asthma. Because of all these illnesses, Dee Dee and Gypsy received a lot of things such as toys, financial help, and even a house. After Hurricane Katrina hit, Dee Dee Blanchard claimed that their house had been destroyed, everything in it, including Gypsy's medical records. They were all destroyed. So the Habitat for Humanity decided to build them a house as a very generous thing to do to help the mother and her daughter out. So once the house was built, they moved in. They seemed to be extremely happy. Everyone had hope for these two, a single mother and her very sick daughter. It was just something a lot of people had empathy for. They wanted to help. They wanted to do a good thing for them. People would send them donations and they would get money from the government. They would get a lot of different things, but not everything is as it seems. We now believe that Gypsy's mother, Dee Dee, had a disorder called Munchausen syndrome, which is a mental disorder where you continuously think that yourself or other people have illnesses and need medical help. For anything as simple as like a stuffy nose, she would probably take her daughter to the hospital and say that it was something else. But personally, I think that it was this on top of financial gain for Dee Dee, because in the past she was in trouble for financial fraud. So I think that it was a financial scam that she was doing, and maybe she did have the disorder as well on top of it, because she went so far as to having a feeding tube inserted into Gypsy's stomach, dental work done so Gypsy didn't have any real teeth. She had dentures, just a bunch of things like that. Her daughter was not allowed to get up from her wheelchair, even though her daughter said that she could walk and knew that she could walk. She was not allowed to leave her wheelchair. Gypsy wasn't really allowed to have friends. She wasn't allowed to have boyfriends, nothing like that. Wasn't allowed to have any electronics. So Gypsy later on decided that she was going to make a Facebook account of her own. Her mother and her did have one, but she didn't have one for herself. And the sad thing is that Gypsy didn't even know how old she was. Her mother would always change her dates of the year she was born. She never knew how old she really was. Her mother kept lying about the year she was born. She did find a card and it said 1991 when her mother said that she was born in 1995. That's a huge difference in age, considering that her mother would treat her as a 15-year-old and tell people that she was 14 or 15 and she was actually an adult. After 2 whole decades of Gypsy being forced in a wheelchair, forced to take medications, have a feeding tube, just everything she didn't need, Gypsy realized that this was wrong, that she was being abused, and that she needed to get away. So in February 2011, Gypsy met a man at a sci-fi convention and she instantly found attraction to him. She wanted to talk to him more. She found a way to keep in contact with him, and she made her first escape attempt from the house. Gypsy was 19 at the time and this man was 35, which is of course legal still. The man took Gypsy back to the hotel room and Dee Dee found out about this. She then confronted the man, telling him that her daughter was a minor and showing him false paperwork that said that she was a minor. That relationship ended quickly because she did threaten the man as well. After this escape attempt, her mother was extremely angry and she smashed Gypsy's laptop, her cell phone, and chained her to a bed for 2 weeks. It wasn't until 2012 that Gypsy decided to try again. She really wanted a boyfriend and used electronics secret after Dee Dee would go to bed. She decided to make a profile for a Christian dating website and she later found a guy on there that she really liked and kept in contact with him. Nicholas Godijon, I'm not sure how to say his last name. He went by Nick and he was actually partly autistic, but that didn't bother Gypsy. They went on to have a relationship for 2.5 years in secret. And it wasn't until 2014 that Gypsy decided to tell her neighbor and friend that she had an online relationship with a man. Her neighbor was a little bit alarmed by this news because in her mind, Gypsy was still a minor. She was still a kid, so she was a little bit alarmed. She kind of told Gypsy, hey, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't talk to this person. They did have sexual relations online and things like BDSM. The same year, in March 2015, Gypsy and Nick decided to plan a meeting with Gypsy's mother, hoping that she would like Nick, invite him over, and everything would work out. But that was not the case. They met at a movie theater. Dee Dee did not like this man. She didn't know who he was, wouldn't give him the time of day. So during the screening of Cinderella, Gypsy said she had to go to the bathroom, so she went to the bathroom and she lost her virginity to Nick in the bathroom, which enhanced their love life, made them more connected, I guess. It's not really elaborated whether Gypsy's mother knew about the bathroom incident or what, but she felt like her daughter was spending too much attention on the man and she decided to punish her. At home, she was very mad at her. They had screaming arguments for weeks and this was just enough for Gypsy. She then made this plan with Nick that he was going to kill her mother. She stated that it wasn't because she wanted her mother dead, it's because she didn't know how else to escape her mother. And in June 2015 is when the horror occurred. So Nick, he traveled to Missouri where Dee Dee and Gypsy lived. He stayed in a motel until Dee Dee went to sleep. He got a text from Gypsy telling him to come, and he had an alternative personality. He stated it was named Victor, and he said that Victor was mean and would kill Dee Dee, but Nick wouldn't. So it was just kind of weird that he had this personality problem and a little bit scary. But Gypsy, she gave Victor the knife and Gypsy went into the bathroom. She covered her ears because she didn't want to hear it, and she heard her mother screaming somewhat while Nick stabbed her mother in the back with a knife, but then it was all over. After her mother was killed, her and Nick then had sex on Gypsy's bed in the house with the dead mother in there. They then took a taxi to a motel and decided to stay there before they were able to get away to a different state. June 14th, 2015 is when they caught a bus to Nick's hometown in Wisconsin. And this afternoon is when the neighbors and friends of Gypsy had seen some really weird post on Dee Dee's Facebook page that said, "That bitch is dead." This led friends and neighbors of them to wonder, did their Facebook get hacked? What happened? They then saw another message on the Facebook page saying, I'm quoting, "I slashed that fat pig and raped her sweet innocent daughter. Her scream was so loud, LOL." Extremely disturbing, and it was found out later that The reason why they posted these inappropriate posts was so that Dee Dee's body would be found, because Gypsy didn't want her body just laying there. She did want her mother to be found. In the end, it was still her mother, and she did want her mother to have a proper burial of her body. Police then got a warrant to search the house. They found Dee Dee laying on her stomach in a pool of blood and some wounds on her back, some stab wounds. The neighbor then told police about Gypsy's online relationship with this man. They then tracked the IP address of the Facebook posts, and they found them at his home. The two were taken into custody, and friends and neighbors were shocked to see that Gypsy wasn't actually sick. She was walking on her own 2 feet. People said it was extremely disturbing and shocking to see that. And on July 5th, 2016, Gypsy then pleaded guilty to the murder of her mother. Gypsy was sentenced to 10 years for second-degree murder, whereas Nick was sentenced to life for first-degree murder.
Okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it.
Something really disturbing is that it was stated in the court documents that Gypsy revealed that they had this master and slave type of relationship, and he wanted to rape Dee Dee's mother. But Gypsy took her place in that act, which is why they did have sex in the house. And now today, Gypsy is trying to get out of jail early because she believes that she doesn't deserve to be there, and of course she feels awful for what happened to her mother, but then again, she did go through all of that abuse her entire life. Let me know what you guys think about getting out early, if that she deserves it, or if she should be sentenced there for the amount of time she was. Personally, I think that it's awful that the abuse that she went through with her mother, it was extremely traumatizing, ruined her entire life. But then again, there were other ways to probably get out of it than murder. This case has been extremely disturbing. It's sad to think about just what Gypsy went through, what Dee Dee went through in her mind. Like, it's just very, very sad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts below. I also highly recommend Hulu's The Act. It's a very good dramatization of what actually happened and what she was going through, or what she claimed she was going through. It's a very good series. I've been watching it myself, and I will see you guys in my next video.